Hello children, let's come back to our maths class. Today we are going to start with a new exercise, that is exercise 2.4. And this exercise 2.4 deals with the quadratic functions. We have already studied about quadratic functions in our class 10, yes children? So you must be knowing what is a quadratic functions. So let's have a small recap of quadratic functions. First of all, you should know what is the form of a quadratic function. So the form of quadratic function is ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. And remember, the condition for a is it should not be equal to 0. So this is a function. This function is called as quadratic function. Quadratic. Quadratic means the degree is 2. What is the degree over here? Degree is 2. What do you mean by degree, children? Degree is the highest power of the particular expression or of the particular equation. Clear? So here, let's check the degree. So now here, when you check the degree, you have to see the power of the variable. Now what is the variable here? The variable is x. What is the power of x here? It's 2. Yes, power is 2. What is the power of x here? Nothing is mentioned. That means the power of x is 1. How many x do you have here? 1. So you have 1x. Okay. Now it's c. That means, what is that? Here no x is mentioned. Yes children? But you have to just imagine here we have a x. Here we have a x with the coefficient 0 or with the power 0. What is the power of x here? 0. So a constant term has a variable x with the power 0. And you know that anything raised to 0 is 1. So c into 1 is equal to c. So this is what you get here, c. So remember, what are the powers here? We have the power 2 here. We have the power 1 here. And what is the power here? It's 0. That is c into x raised to 0. So the power is, that is when you just go on simplifying it, you get c into 1 which is equal to c. So you get c, and so highest power. So you have 2, 1, 0 as a power, and from that, which is the highest one? 2 is the highest power. So the highest power is called the degree. And what is the degree here? It's 2. Yes. So when you have a degree 2, you call that polynomial as a quadratic polynomial. We have already studied in our lower classes about the different polynomials. Yes, children? So when you have a polynomial with degree 2, you have to call it as a quadratic polynomial. So in exercise 2.4, yes children? Yeah, so in 2.4 we will be dealing with a quadratic function. I hope you remember the quadratic formulas. Let's have a small recap of the formulas. So this is the first point that you're going to remember. What is the form or what is the quadratic function? The quadratic function is of the form ax square plus bx plus c. Keep this in your mind, children. The form is ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. And remember one point, this a should not be equal to 0. If a becomes 0, what happens? The term goes off and you don't get a degree 2. We get a degree 1. So that's not a quadratic function. So remember the condition. And remember, whenever you have a polynomial with degree 2, you have to say it as a quadratic polynomial. And how to find out the degree, children? For finding the degree, you have to take the highest power. So that's what we have here. The highest power is 2. So the degree is 2. Okay. So this was the one thing that you have to know. And one more thing is you have to know the formulas that we use for finding that is when we solve the equations, we have used quadratic formula method. If you remember in your class 10, we had an exercise and the question was, solve the equation using formula method or quadratic formula method. So the formula was x is equal to minus b plus minus square root of b square minus 4ac upon 2a. So this was the formula that was used for finding the answers, for finding the unknown value. Quadratic formula. Clear, children? So these are the 2 points that we have to remember. And also you know about the roots, nature of the roots. That all this exercise mostly deals with the concepts that we have done in our earlier classes. Okay, children? And also we are going to see about the nature of roots. Again, this all are the subjects, or these are the topics that you have seen in our 10th standard. Okay, so how to find out nature, children? First of all, you have to find delta. This delta is called the discriminant. What is this called as? Discriminant. And what is the value for delta? You have to find b square minus 4ac. What is the value for delta, children? B square minus 4ac. Clear? And we had 3 different conditions. When is the root real and unequal? When is the root real and equal? Yes, so when delta is greater than 0, roots are real and unequal. Clear? When delta is equal to 0, real and equal. I hope you are just recollecting all the things that we are going. It's like you are recollecting everything. Yes, and when delta is less than 0, no real roots. No real roots. So these are the what is that? Points that come under the nature of roots. Clear, children? Okay, so I would like you to take down this point, and after taking down this point, we will go to exercise 2.4. Let's write down the points, children, here. So give the heading, points to remember. Give the heading. This is for 2.4. Okay, so this points we are going to refer when we solve our exercise 2.4. Let's take down the first point. Write down the first one, children. A function, you have to take down the points along with me, children. A function of the form p of x is equal to ax square plus bx plus c, where a, b, c belonging to R are constants and a not equal to 0. Is called a quadratic function. Clear, children? So write down the first point. A function of the form p of x is equal to ax square plus bx plus c, where a, b, c are constants and a is not equal to 0 is called a quadratic function. So this was the first point. Now let's go for the second point. Second point I'll be writing down over here. Write down the second point, children. A quadratic formula. X is equal to minus b plus minus b square minus 4ac upon 2a. Clear? X is equal to minus b plus minus square root of b square minus 4ac upon 2a. This is a quadratic formula. Third one, you have to draw a table, and this table is in page number 61. I hope I need a bigger table. It's not possible over here. I'll just continue the third point in the here, children. Just stay on the first point. I'll rub the first point and I'll draw the table. Do not waste your time. Take down your points. Okay, I'll draw a table over here. I hope you would have taken on the first point. So draw the table using a scale and a pencil, children. And on the third point. So discriminant, nature of fruits and parabola. How will be the graph looking like? This is all you have done in your lower classes. And parabola is not a new thing. We have seen how is the parabola going to. Yes, children? So we all know all these things. So when I just explain you the points, I'll tell you. When we write the point, I'll tell you how is the graph looking like. Okay, discriminant. So just we have one more point here. Its delta is equal to b square minus 4ac. So discriminant is delta. So what is how to find discriminant? Delta is equal to b square minus 4ac. Okay, let's write on the point. First one is positive. That means delta is positive. If you get a positive answer, like if you get an answer as greater than 0, like 1, 2, if you get a positive answer, then how is the nature of roots? Real and distinct. So here in 10th we had real and it was real and unequal. Here they have given real and distinct. So let's update ourselves. So when the delta is positive or when the value of discriminant is greater than 0, what about the nature of roots? It's real and distinct. Distinct means different. We get a different answer. Intersects x-axis at 2 points. And how is that some thought? Suppose you have a graph. So how your graph will be? The graph will be intersecting at 2 points in the x-axis. So when you get such this, when the delta is positive, when the roots are real and distinct, two answers you are getting, you see. So this is touching the x-axis. This is x-axis at 2 distinct points. The parabola intersecting the x-axis at 2 points when delta is greater than 0. So positive. Next is 0. When delta is equal to 0, real and equal. Touches x-axis at 1 point. Touches x-axis at 1 point. Yeah, so I have just taken down 2 points. The first one was positive, real and distinct, intersects x-axis at 2 points. And when you get the value for delta as 0, the roots are real and equal. It means the parabola touches the x-axis at one point. So this was for 2 years, children. So 1 point means somewhat it's only touching 1 point, yes. So only 1 point. You will be having an answer only at 1 point. Delta is equal to 0. The next one is negative. Delta is less than 0. No real roots. Does not meet x-axis. Somewhere here it will not at all touch. It will not at all touch the x-axis. This is for delta is less than 0. So when it was greater than 0, you will be having the axis which is touching, and here it touches at only 1 point. Somewhat it will be like this, children. It will be not touching, only it will touch at 1 point. Does not meet x-axis. This is just for your understanding. We will be having a points, and with the help of a points we can come to know how is the parabola going to be. Yes. So just keep this in your mind. Does not meet x-axis. So just remember all these points. So how is the root? When positive, real and distinct. When 0, real and equal. For negative, no real roots. For positive, the parabola will intersect at 2 points on the x-axis. When it is 0, it will touch the x-axis at 1 point, and when it is negative, it will not at all meet the x-axis. So these are the points that you have to write down. I hope you are doing all the works neatly. Draw the table using a scale and a pencil. The writing work can be done with a pen. You have to write using your pen. Be fast, children. Okay. Now let's continue with exercise 2.4. Take down exercise 2.4. And in the last class, I have given you the first question for homework. Yes, children? So you are going to start from the second question. Take down the second question. A quadratic polynomial has one of its zeros, 1 plus root 5, and it satisfies p of 1 is equal to 2. Find the quadratic polynomial. Find the quadratic polynomial. Question number 2. A quadratic polynomial has one of its zeros as 1 plus root 5, and it satisfies p of 1 is equal to 2. Find the quadratic polynomial. So we have to find out a quadratic polynomial over here. So let's start our answer, children. I hope you are ready with the question. Shall we go for the answer, children? Okay, let's start. A polynomial is there. A quadratic polynomial has one of the zero as 1 plus root 5. Children, okay? So before we continue our sum number 2, you have to come to page 65. Take down page 65. I hope everyone has your textbook ready and you have kept your page number 65 open. Okay, now there in page 65 you have to just see a point which is given below the definition. You have a box there for definition 2.1. yes, below the definition you have been given 2 points. Can you see there? You have a 2 points. You have to see the second point. Suppose that p of x is a polynomial function. Suppose, what is the statement given? Suppose p of x is a polynomial function. This is a polynomial function what are we going to do? If this is a polynomial function, and if one of the 0, they have given if one of the 0 is a plus b root p. This is one of the 0. 0 means root and all one and the same. So a polynomial function is there and one of the 0 is a plus b root p. 0 means one of the value for x. Like when you solve a equation, we get two values for x, children. X is equal to 3 or x is equal to 5. Like that we get two answers. Similarly here, what is the first 0 they are saying? The first 0 is a plus b root p. Suppose p of x is a polynomial function and if a plus b root p is a 0, then we can say a minus b root p is also a 0 of the given function. So if a plus b root p is a 0, then automatically what are you going to say? You are going to say that a minus b root p is also a 0 function, and this is allowed only for a polynomial function. Do not apply for any function you just want to. Do not apply for any other function except polynomial function. So read the question carefully and accordingly we have to follow the step. So for a polynomial function, if one of the 0 is a plus b root p, you can consider the next 0 as a minus b root p. Now what is this minus b root p called as? See, if you have a number a plus b root p, this part is called the conjugate part. That is a minus b root p is the conjugate part. How are you getting the conjugate part? Just change the sign, that's all. You are going to change the sign of the second term. When you change the sign of the second term, you get the conjugate. So this point we are going to follow for our sum number 2. That's all. I hope you are clear with the point. So for a polynomial function, if a plus b root p is one of the 0, you can consider a minus b root p as another 0. So let's start with the second sum. Right on. So one of the 0 is given. It's a quadratic polynomial. Again here they have given you that it is a polynomial, a quadratic polynomial. So we can apply the rule over there. Write down. If 1 plus root 5 is one of the root, if 1 plus root 5 is 0, is given a 0 over here, so just I'll mention here 0, is one of the 0, then 1 minus root 5 is also a 0. If 1 plus root 5 is one of the 0, then 1 minus root 5 is also a 0 for a polynomial function. You can just mention here for a polynomial function. So this is from page 65. I have told you that if it is a, here because they have given you quadratic polynomial, so it's a polynomial function. So they have mentioned that 1 plus root 5 is one of the 0. So we can consider the conjugate. What is the conjugate of 1 plus root 5? In terms of plus. Here we have plus. So plus will be changed to minus. So you get 1 minus root 5. So if 1 plus root 5 is one of the 0, then 1 minus root 5 is also a 0 for a polynomial function. Okay. Now what are we going to do here is, we are going to find out the sum of the zeros and we are going to find the product of zeros. So find out the sum. So sum of zeros is equal to sum of zeros. What is the sum? Sum is we have two zeros, so we are going to add these two zeros. Let us add these two zeros, 1 plus root 5 plus 1 minus root 5. Sum of zeros is equal to 1 plus root 5 plus 1 minus root 5. So let's add them. So what happens here, root 5 and root 5 goes off. Here children, plus root 5 minus root 5. So you can cancel plus root 5 and minus root 5. And what is left here? 2. Sum of zeros is equal to 2. Okay. Now the second thing, you're going to find out the product of zeros. Yes, let's find product of zeros. So product of zeros is equal to Multiply this 2. So 1 plus root 5, 1 minus root 5. A into B. This is simple. This is which expansion, children? A plus B into A minus B. What is the formula for A plus B into A minus B? A square minus B square. What is A here? A is 1. And what is B here? It's root 5. So 1 square minus root 5 the whole square. 1 square minus root 5 the whole square. Okay. What is the answer for 1 square, children? It's 1. Root 5 square. Root 5 into root 5. What is the answer for root 5 into root 5? It's 5. Good. So you get here 1 minus 5. What is 1 minus 5? Plus minus minus. So answer is 4. Sign of the bigger number? 5 is the bigger number. And sign of 5 is minus. So you get the answer as minus 4. So I have found two values. I have found the value for sum of zeros and I have found the value for sum of product of zeros, sum and product. Children, just see here, we can write, because in the book they have given you two way of zeros. One is they have taken as ZEROES and one they have taken as ZEROAS. Just I am using the zeros as ZEROS. Sum of zeros and product of zeros. Okay. Now, the question is to find out of quadratic polynomial, and it is also satisfying one of the conditions. They have given P of 1 is equal to 2. Yes? So, first of all, let's write down the quadratic equation here. So, quadratic equation is x square minus sum of roots the whole x plus product of roots equal to 0. What is the quadratic equation? X square minus sum of roots the whole x plus product of roots equal to 0. Okay, now we have already found the value for sum of roots and also the product of roots. So just write down here. So this is x square minus sum of roots 2x plus minus 4 is equal to 0. I am talking about a quadratic equation. So this is x square minus 2x minus 4 is equal to 0. We have not completed our answer. I have just found out the quadratic equation. I found the sum of roots, I found the product of roots, and I am just applying it in quadratic equation. So now we are going to move for a quadratic polynomial. Here the question is to find out the quadratic polynomial. Here they have mentioned, yes children, see if they have not mentioning about P, if any value is not given, we can directly stop the answer in quadratic equation. But here in this question, they have given you the value for P of 1 is equal to 2. Clear children? So when you have that condition, we have one more step to do. So this was the quadratic equation. So now what are we going to do? We are going to find out the quadratic polynomial. Let's find out the value for quadratic polynomial, children. I hope you are clear with all the sums. We are going very slow, yes children. So understand the steps. Okay, so now the next part is finding quadratic polynomial. So quadratic polynomial is equal to P of x is equal to, okay, I'll write down this here. This is P of x and this is equal to P of x is equal to, you have to just write down this equation. Whatever we have arrived for quadratic equation, you have to write down that for quadratic polynomial. But one thing is, whenever you write down for quadratic polynomial, now you are going to change the quadratic equation in terms of quadratic polynomial. Yes children? So only one thing you are going to do is, you are going to remove the 0 and you are going to add here a constant. So how are you going to write down this as k x square minus 2x minus 4. Clear? So what are we going to do? So what is the quadratic polynomial? you have to write down as P of x is equal to k into, k is a constant or scalar constant over there. So k is k into the answer. What is the answer? X square minus 2x minus 4. Do not write 0. So that's what you get here. And one more thing, they have given you a value for x. Yes, what is the value for x given to you? 1. That is, they are saying that P of 1 is equal to, what is that? 2. Yeah, given. Write on. P of 1 is equal to 2. This is given to us. So P of 1, wherever you have x, you have to replace it as 1. So P of 1 is equal to k x square, 1 square minus 2 into 1 minus 4, and this is equal to 2. Are you clear, children? I hope you are clear, because P of 1 value is given to us as 2. So wherever x term was there, I am replacing it as 1. So this is k 1 minus 2 minus 4 is equal to 2. I'll write therefore. So therefore k 1 minus 2 minus 4. What is 1 minus 2? 1 minus 2 is minus 1. Plus minus minus another bigger, minus 1 minus 4. So this is equal to minus 5. Minus 5 is equal to 2. Therefore k is equal to 2 upon minus 5. I have told you don't keep the negative sign on the denominator part. So you have to write the value for k as minus 2 upon 5. So write down the value for k as minus 2 upon 5. So we got a quadratic equation, and with the help of quadratic equation we are framing a quadratic polynomial. When you frame a quadratic polynomial, you have to write down the quadratic equation along with k. Here I am just using a letter k, and do not write the 0. So k into quadratic equation. And they have given you one value for P of 1. They have just given one detail. P of 1 is equal to 2. That means in place of x we have to write as 1. So when you just replace x as 1, you get a value for k. What is the value for k, children? It's minus 2 upon 5. Now let's complete our final answer. Therefore, required polynomial is P of x is equal to minus 2 upon 5 x square minus 2x minus 4. P of x is equal to minus 2 upon 5 x square minus 2x minus 4. I hope you have completed and it's been clear to you, children. It's very simple. This is the concept that we have already learned in our lower classes, and along with the concept that we have studied in our previous classes, we are adding some more information to find out a new thing, that is we are finding out a quadratic polynomial. Is it clear? Okay. Now let's continue with the next question. Take down question number 3. Take down question number 3. Before I go to exercise 2 before I continue with the third question, I have some homeworks for you, children. So you are going to take down the homework part here. Exercise 2.4, question number 8 will be a homework, children. 8. What are you going to do for 8? You are going to, what is the question? Discuss the nature of the roots. Okay. So discuss the nature of the roots means what you will do? You have to find out D. Discriminant. I have given you the points. Remember, third point. So you have to find out delta, which is equal to b square minus 4ac. The same sum we have done in our 10th standard, children. So that will be easy for you. So you get the value for delta. Check whether you get a positive answer, whether you get a negative answer, or you get a 0 answer. Accordingly, you have to write down the answer. The roots are real and distinct. The roots are real and equal. It is not having any real root. So you will have the answer. So for question number 8, You have 3 subparts, 1, 2, 3. So you are going to complete question number 8. Clear, children? Now, question number 9 is your homework. Yes, you can do question number 9. What is the question number 9? See the question. Without sketching the graphs, find whether the graphs of the following function will intersect x-axis, and if so, in how many points. This is very, very easy. We had a table in point number 3. The first part, that is the first one was about the discriminant. What about discriminant? Whether it's going to be positive, negative and 0. The second one was about the nature of the roots. That is what is question number 8. And the third one is question about the parabola. Yes, children? So for the 9th sum, again you have to find out the, what is that? Delta. Find out b square minus 4ac. Check for the condition, whether it is positive, whether it is negative and whether it is 0, and accordingly you have to answer. If it is greater than 0 means, how about the parabola? It intersects the x-axis. At how many points? It is intersecting the x-axis at 2 points. If you have answer 0, it touches the x-axis. Yeah, it is going to intersect the x-axis but at only 1 point. If the delta is negative, if you have a negative answer, then you have to say that the nature of the root is no real root. But here we are not talking about the nature, you have to talk about the parabola. That means it will not meet the x-axis. Clear, children? So you have to follow the third point for completing your sum number 8, sum number 9. And also one more thing for you children, yeah, you have to complete question number 10. Write f of x is equal to, write this in a completed square form. That's all. They are not asking you to solve the question. You have to just write on the form. I hope you remember this form, yes children. Half into coefficient of x the whole square. In lesson number 3. Yes, we have done. In exercise, in third lesson, you just check your third lesson. From, I hope everyone is having your maths textbook. 10th standard maths textbook. Not only 10th standard maths textbook. You have to keep all your textbooks with you. So that it will be useful for you to write any competitive exams. You just do not throw your textbooks away. Whenever you go for any interview or whenever you go for any competitive exams or any aptitude test, you have to refer all your lower classes books. Yes, children? So from around 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, all the books you have to keep and you have to refer it. So have a habit of keeping your books safely. I hope you have your 10th textbook safely. 10th maths textbook, I hope everyone is having 10th maths textbook safely. So what are you going to do? You are going to take your 10th maths textbook and you are going to complete the 10th question. Yes, so rhyming. Yes, children? You are going to take 10th maths textbook and you are going to complete the 10th sum. Can you do the sum, children? So this is your homework. 8, 9, 10. Clear? Shall we move to the third sum, children? Let's go to the third sum. Let's take on third question. If alpha and beta are the roots of the quadratic equation, x square plus root 2x plus 3 is equal to 0, form a quadratic polynomial with zeros 1 upon alpha, 1 upon beta. In the previous case, we had been given with the condition p of 1 is equal to 2. So we have solved for the quadratic equation and also we continued for the quadratic polynomial. Yes, children? But here, nothing is given like that. Just they have told that it is a quadratic polynomial, but we don't have more information about any value like p of x. We don't know the value for x over here. So what is our work is just finding the value for quadratic equation. You have to find the sum of roots, you have to find the product of roots, and we have to write down it in the form of quadratic equation. You may ask, ma'am, that was polynomial and this is also polynomial. That's why I'm just giving you an explanation. For question number 2, we were having this detail p of 1 is equal to 2. But in question number 3, such a detail is missing. So we have to stop in quadratic equation. So let's start with number 3. I hope you would have completed your third question. So let's move with the answer part. Write down the statement. Given quadratic equation is x square plus root 2x plus 3 is equal to 0. Given quadratic equation is x square plus root 2x plus 3 is equal to 0. Clear? Okay, now they have given you two new roots. They are asking you to form a quadratic polynomial with two new zeros. That is, you have to form the polynomial with 1 upon alpha and 1 upon beta as the zeros. But before that, we always use to find out the sum of roots, and we have to find out the product of roots. You know the formula for it. I hope you remember that. So first you write down here sum of roots. What is the formula, children? Remember? Recollect the formulas that we use for finding sum of roots here. Yes, what's that? Minus b upon a. Good, that's all. Good. It's minus b upon a. So here they have given you the sum of roots. The two roots are alpha and beta. So in place of sum of roots you write alpha plus beta is equal to, what is b here? B is root 2. So minus, if you want one more step, I can give you one more step. If you are able to write your answers directly, well and good, I'll be happy. Or just you mention here the step. Here a is equal to 1, the coefficient of x square. B is equal to root 2, the coefficient of x. And c is equal to 3, the constant term. So here a is equal to 1, b is equal to root 2, and c is equal to 3. So now I'm going to find out the sum of roots. Formula for sum of roots is minus b upon a, and they have given you the root. For the first part, the root is alpha and beta. So don't get confused with 1 upon alpha and 1 upon beta. 1 upon alpha and 1 upon beta, we are going to do it later on. First is find the sum of roots for alpha and beta as a root. So this is minus root 2 upon 1, which is minus root 2. Product of roots, what is the formula for product of roots, children? C upon a, C. 3 upon 1, which is equal to 3. 3 upon 1, which is equal to 3. So I have found the sum of roots, and also I have found the product of roots. So now let's write on the next step. So this is what I get from this equation. Yes, children? So from a given equation, I have an equation. So from the given equation, I have found the value for alpha plus beta. And yeah, just here you write down one more thing here. Product means alpha beta. Alpha beta is minus root 2 and alpha beta is 3. So now what is the next thing we are going to do is, we are going to consider the new root over here. What is the new root? We are taking 1 alpha and 1 upon alpha and 1 upon beta. Read on the question. Let's read the question once again. Form a quadratic polynomial with zeros 1 upon alpha and 1 upon beta. If zeros are 1 upon alpha and 1 upon beta, sum of roots is equal to, what is the sum of roots? 1 upon alpha plus 1 upon beta. That is, you are going to take the new root as 1 upon alpha and 1 upon beta. For the previous case, alpha and beta were the roots. So we have taken just alpha plus beta and alpha beta. I hope you are clear with the difference why I am doing it twice. This is the original equation, and now we are going to make a new equation. And for making a new equation, they have given you a new zero. What is the new zero given to you? 1 upon alpha and 1 upon beta. So let's find out the sum of roots. So this is equal to cross multiply. So alpha plus beta upon alpha beta. Alpha into 1 alpha, beta into 1 beta upon alpha beta. I know the value for alpha plus beta. Minus root 2. I know the value for alpha beta, that's 3. So minus root 2 upon 3. Let's go for the next one. So now I am going to find out the product of roots. Product of roots is equal to 1 upon alpha into 1 upon beta. So this is equal to 1 upon alpha beta. Okay, 1 upon alpha beta. What is 1 upon alpha beta? 1 upon 3. So we have found the value for sum of roots and product of roots. So minus root 2 upon 3 little bigger upper, right? I'll write little up. So 1 by 3. So we have found the product of roots and we have found the sum of roots. So now what are we going to do here? We are going to make a new quadratic equation. Let's make a new quadratic equation. So write down. Therefore, required quadratic equation is x square minus sum of roots the whole x plus product of roots equal to 0. This is the formula you know, yes children? So we are just going to substitute, do not substitute the old one, we are going to substitute the new one. So x square minus, it's minus, so minus root 2 upon 3 plus 1 upon 3 is equal to 0. X. So we have 3 in the denominator, I will take the LCM. So 3x square minus minus turns to be plus root 2x plus 1 upon 3 equal to 0. So the 3 goes to that side and it becomes 0. So you get the answer as 3x square plus root 2x plus 1 is equal to 0. So we have completed the third sum. So I hope you have understood the question number 2 and question number 3. And what was your homework, children? Your homework is sum number 8, sum number 9 and sum number 10. For sum number 8 and sum number 9, you are going to refer the third point which was taken as points to remember. And for question number 10, you are going to refer your 10th maths textbook and you are going to complete the answer. Is it clear, children? So we will be continuing with the next sum in the next class.